Today I want to talk about alchemy, specifically the inversion of male and female, divine masculine, divine feminine. My name is Coach Matt. I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm a master spiritual life coach. I really should be maybe flaunting that a little bit more humbly. But anyway, what I do is I help people discover who they truly are internally and externally, and have people come to grips with reality so that they can manifest the best reality and the best lifestyle for themselves. So what do I mean talking about the inversion, the alchemical inversion of male and female? This is a very divinely deep, esoteric topic. A lot of people are talking about divine masculine, divine feminine. What exactly does that mean? Divine masculine, divine feminine. If I'm a man, can I be a divine feminine, or what the hell does that even mean? Does that make me more feminine or something like that? You know, I get a lot of these types of questions, especially from my clients. Divine masculine and feminine are kind of terms that are being thrown around, and I just got to be honest. There's so many people who are talking about it that I won't say are wrong, but I will say I fundamentally disagree with. Now, why would I fundamentally disagree with people? Not anybody specific. I don't have anybody in mind. I just see tons of videos on social media, Instagram or TikTok or what have you. People just want to spout from their own personal experience, which I find anecdotal experience to be not only very crucial and important for understanding our reality moving forward, especially when we're able to learn from really experienced people, but I also find it very biased, and especially when you are not open to learning other things, people have a lot of confirmation bias. I always try to say, play the part of the fool, act like you don't know anything and you'll learn everything. And I'm a fool. I try to act like a fool every single day. I try to live as most childlike as I possibly can, because that actually fundamentally becomes what is called the hermaphroditic brain. Hermes and Aphrodite, this is not about genital parts as it is known in modern times. The hermaphroditic brain is the mercurial combination of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, in which there is a immaculate conception within the mind, and when you have an immaculate conception, you make a child. So it is living in the most childlike state of wonder, where you are constantly open and happy, and your heart is open and happy to learning new things from other people without judgment. And I'm not judging anybody, by the way, from the experiences that they have. I just fundamentally disagree with a lot of things. You know, there are a lot of women who will say divine femininity means to be incredibly strong and wholehearted with your approach to protecting yourself, which is somewhat true, but there's also a lot of women who will take that information and misinterpret it. There's a lot of divine masculine talk and speak from divine masculine men, which are talking about being aggressive or domineering, which again is going to confuse a lot of people, because there's a subtle balance to these things. To be divine masculine, divine feminine is an arduous task. To have the combination of both in the body and in the mind is a very difficult thing. So how can we further exemplify this? Well, I might do another video on what it means to be those things, but for this specific video, I wanted to talk about the alchemical practices of the physical reality of how we see this played out in our society and in the human species, because that will open up a better pathway to discuss divine masculine and divine feminine. So what am I really getting at here? Well, let's take an alchemical look at how the European alchemists saw masculine and feminine. There's a lot of talks when you read works that are dated, you know, anywhere from maybe the 13 to the 1700s, revolving around the Red King and the White Queen. Very interesting. Why do we call it the Red King and the White Queen? Well, red and white are very fundamental colors in the spectrum of our reality. Jesus Christ himself gave the bread and the wine, which are the red and the white. Why the red and the white? Well, it's part of your body, number one. You have red musculature, red blood, white blood, plasma. You also have your skin, which worldwide, there's nobody with blue skin, right? The Indian Vedas and the Hindus used a blue skin tone for their gods because it exemplified a color that was above our heads, which would be the blue sky, and that is where they often came down from, or Vishnu would reincarnate as an avatar in that kind of a sense, and he would go from being blue into being human skin tone. The skin tone works on a spectrum of white to red. I know there are a lot of people who are like African or Indian, and they have a darker shade with melanin and whatnot, but that's actually just a darker hue of red in combination with like a white kind of skin tone. So that's really like the spectrum of where we're at between like red and white, and it's just depending on what kind of shade and tone and contrast and all the other color theory terms that you could use. But the red and the white also is parts of the two colors that go alongside biblically with the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The other two colors, you have the white that comes first, the horsemen of conquest, then you have the horsemen of war, which would be red. So those are the first two. The second two would be black and pale. Now why? That's super important. Because in alchemy you have four shades, which are essentially those four colors: the red, the white, the black, and the last one being green, yellow, sometimes known as pale. These four elements are what are necessary for the sacred secretion, kundalini, Christ oil process within the human body, the greater mitosis process, as we like to call it as well. Because those four colors exemplify the four major parts that are required. The red is the red blood. The black is neuromelanin, which is created in the brain, and that blackness that is created in the brain is completely juxtaposed against the white, which is created in both the male and female genital bodies. The eggs of a female are often white or even sometimes pinkish, and obviously the sperm of the man would be white as well. And the pale is in reference to the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, which is often a yellowish, palish, clearish kind of color. And you'll have a lot of alchemical terms like the green lion, which is in reference to the heart chakra being swallowed by the sign of Leo, which is considered one of the most powerful of the fire signs. But moving beyond that, the red king and the white queen exemplify the duality of inverted nature. You have the masculine body, which has the musculature up in the shoulders and the upper chest. This is actually what creates a hourglass figure for the man, which obviously is attractive to women. Ironically, it's also an hourglass figure, a wave. They're both waves. This hourglass figure is also attractive to women, to men from the female perspective as well, having a larger bust. But the bust for a woman has white. So on the top, the man has the red, and on the top, the woman has the white. So the red king and the white queen are exemplifications of the fact that you have the man has the red musculature, and oftentimes they also have a larger heart, just in size, due to the fact that most men are larger than most women, generally speaking. And then the female, on the other hand, has the white breast milk that is on the top. Then it inverts. And this is again where you get this hourglass figure. It inverts. You have on the male, the white is on the bottom. And that's ejaculatory, right? That's actually external. You can see that visibly, whereas the woman's eggs are hidden behind a veil. For the woman, however, she bleeds red from the location of where she has her menstruation. And this is often the explanation for the inversion process of male and female in the body. So that's just a little bit of information on the red king and the white queen. Again, this coincides perfectly with the body and blood of Christ. Notice how they never use white wine, and they never use something like naan or sourdough bread. Specifically, they use like white crackers, which I kind of find ironic, because that's probably not the type of bread that Jesus was eating at the Last Supper. So, if you're interested in learning from us, we are, again, certified spiritual life coaches. We can actually certify you as a life coach, as well as a ton of other variety of categories. You can go to our website, www.teampsycosmos.org, and you can sign up for a package to learn from us. You can also take our esoteric lecture series. We also have a ton of free content on there as well. Lots of love to you guys, many, many blessings, and I hope that you learned something today. Take care.